Right?
Day, Baba. Welcome, everyone. We're here today to honor the life and wonder that was Bhau Kalchuri, the Mayor Baba's Mandali. We're so grateful that you're here, and I'm not going to speak anymore. I'm going to turn it over to Karen Talbot, who has a bio, and we have a few more clips of video when that's finished. So I'm going to mute everybody and ask Karen to go ahead, get us started. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, everyone. It's such an honor and privilege and pleasure to talk about dear Bhau, who gave so much to all of us and traveled around the world so that we could hear him. His name was Veer Singh Kalchuri. Veer Singh means victorious lion. And so Baba's sign for him was lion. And Baba named him Bhau, which means brother. He was born on January 13th, 1970. He was born on January 13th, 1927 in India. He met Meher Baba December 1951, married to Rama, and his two children are Sheila and Mehernath. He passed away on October 23rd, 2013 in Pune, India, and he is buried in the men's cemetery at Lower Meherabad, India. Bhau Kalchuri was one of 8 children born to a well-to-do Rajput family in Katani in the Balgat district of Madhya Pradesh. He excelled in his studies at Nagpur University, completing master's degrees in public administration, law, and chemistry. Before he could realize his career plans, Bhau unexpectedly turned to spiritual interests following a visit to the tomb of Tajuddin Baba in Nagpur. During Meher Baba's stay there in December 1951, Veer Singh Kalchuri, while studying at Nagpur College, attended a darshan of Meher Baba. Without looking at Bhau, Baba handed him a banana as prasad. Bhau ate the banana, skin and all. In January 1953, Bhau tried darshan again. Again, Baba gave him a banana, which he ate skin and all. Bhau requested a meeting with Meher Baba. Baba told Bhau to finish his exams and then come to him. Bhau took the college master's examination as ordered by Baba and came to see him. Baba asked Bhau, "Are you firm in your resolve to stay with me?" "I am quite firm," Bhau said. "That's why I've come." Baba said, "I'm extremely pleased. In the darshan programs, there were innumerable fishes, but only one was caught." Baba asked Bhau if he would do what he asked willingly. Bhau replied, yes. Bhau thought the visit was to be for 15 days, but after 3 days, Baba sent him back home. Baba said, "Don't think I'm sending you back. I will keep you with me. It is definite." Baba gave Bhau certain instructions and Bhau left. On July 8th, 1953, Bhau Kalchuri came to Dehradun by Baba's order to stay with Baba permanently. Baba explained to him, "The first order I am going to give you is to visit the rooms of the Mandali every night and say loudly, 'You fools, keep silence after 9 o'clock. Baba added, "This is only the beginning for you." Bhau is a newcomer, the youngest of the Mandali at 27. Some of the older members had been with Baba since the 1920s. Soon after sunset, Bhau became very nervous. At last, it was 9 p.m., and he started out. He went to every room and hesitatingly did as Baba had ordered. Nothing happened by his repeating the statement, All the men thought it was a joke and enjoyed it, though they did not know it was Baba's order. But when he came to Kaikobad's room, Bhau saw that Kaikobad was silently praying. Bhau opened the door and shouted, "You fool, keep silence after 9 o'clock." Kaikobad turned to Bhau with a mingled look of surprise and anger. But his duty being over, Bhau hurriedly slipped away. The next day, Kaikobad told Vishnu, "This Bhau is an absolutely rude chap. Last night, when I was praying in my room, he quietly opened my door, came in and said, 'You fool, keep silence after 9 o'clock.' I was, of course, already silent. He said the same thing to me," said Vishnu. "He is new and we should forget about it." "He has a master's degree," Kaikobad continued, "but still is quite a fool, and he has no manners." The second night also, Bhau repeated Baba's order, again disturbing Kaikobad in his prayer. What could Bhau do? It was his act of prayer, and he had to do it. Kaikobad, though, again complained to Baba, who withdrew the order. Meanwhile, Bhau was assigned the duties of handling Hindi correspondence, night watch for the first few days, looking after Isa, the troublesome sweeper's son, and most importantly, attending to Nanga Mast. 4 days after Bhau's arrival in Dehradun, this must, whom Baba had contacted in March, walked more than 62 miles to Dehradun. Seeing him on the road, Elcha informed Baba. He was about a mile away, and Baba sent a cart to bring him. When he was brought, Baba ordered Bhau, "Serve this must, attend to his wants and look after him well." Bhau had never seen a must before, and he was not quite sure what Baba saw in him. All Bhau could see was a man completely naked, with thick matted hair covered from head to foot with years of dirt from never washing. After bathing Nanga Must, Baba showed Bhau the room where the must was to be kept. The must was made to lie down. He was like a Maju, mostly unconscious of his body. Bhau had a very difficult time caring for and understanding this must, as he was new. The must told him he would pass his college exams. The next day, a telegram arrived that Bhau had passed his exams. Another night, Bhau was sitting by the must when he said, "You will have a son." Bhau's wife Rama was in Nagpur and pregnant. 4 months later, Bhau received the telegram that a son was born to him. At first, Bhau thought the must to be insane. But one day, when the must spoke about the greatness of Meher Baba, Bhau's eyes were opened. After these incidents, Bhau realized the must was not a madman. As instructed by Baba one night, everyone had to keep awake for the whole night. Baba told Bhau, "Since you all have to stay awake, perform a play." On short notice, Bhau wrote a play based on the Indian story of Durgadas, a devotee of the goddess Durga. All the men did justice to their roles except for Alaba and Elcha. Alaba, who was the executioner, came on stage off cue, with his sword swinging ferociously at the wrong time. Elcha forgot his lines. Baba was having fits of laughter and praised Elcha, saying he enjoyed his part the most. On October 22nd, 1953, Baba said to Bhau, "I am born today." And after embracing Bhau first, he called and embraced each of the mandali and distributed sweets. No one understood the meaning of Baba's statement until that evening, when a telegram was received from Nagpur that Bhau's wife Rama had given birth to a son. Baba himself named the baby boy Mehernath, Meher's Prince, Lord of Mercy, and revealed to Bhau that he was one of his old disciples come back. After a month, Baba sent Bhau to Nagpur to see his son. Isa, the precocious but outrageously demanding sweeper's son, was called from Dehradun. Baba ordered that he be treated like a prince. Bhau and Krishna were to look after him. They had to bring his food, place it on the table, clean his plates, make his bed, and do whatever he demanded. It was Baba's order that he be kept pleased and treated as gently as a flower. Without any formal training, but according to Meher Baba's orders and instructions, Bhau completed volumes of mystical poetry, plays, essays, and the epic Lord Meher. Bhau's first writing assignment came in 1955 when, under instruction from Meher Baba, Bhau helped organize the manuscript of God Speaks. During this time, and until Baba dropped his body, Bhau lived at Meherazad, and summers were spent with the rest of the Mandali and Meher Baba at Guru Prasad, specifically in the 1960s. Points for the nothing and the everything were dictated to Bhau by Meher Baba in 1967 and in 1968. In 1968, Meher Baba taught Bhau to write ghazals. Bhau composed ghazals in Hindi and in English. In 1968, Bhau completed the 170 songs of Meher Sarod, containing many lines given directly by Meher Baba. In 1968, in the mornings, Baba would listen to Bhau as he read out his Hindi translation of The Wayfarers. In 1969, 7 days before Baba dropped his body, Baba asked Bhau to write his biography in poetic verse. In July 1971, he began to write the biography in prose in Hindi, Meher Prabhu. He wrote this in 7 months, working 16 to 18 hours a day. It was translated into English as Lord Meher. He also wrote plays, books of verse, and other books in Hindi and in English. In 1973, Bhau became a trustee of the Avatar Meher Baba Perpetual Public Charitable Trust. He later became its chairman and continued in this capacity until the end of his life. Starting in 1985, Bhau made extensive speaking tours, both inside and outside India. He visited the US, Europe, and Australia. He was interviewed in both press and radio, and also appeared in Roger Nygaard's film, The Nature of Existence. Due to poor health near the end of his life, Bhau kept in touch with the worldwide Meher Baba community via internet chats and messages. This leaves us with a treasury of memories of dear Bhauji and time spent with him. On Wednesday, October 23rd, 2013, at 11:17 p.m., Bhau passed away at Jahangir Hospital ICU in Pune, attended by his wife Rama, children Sheila and Mehernath, and very close family. He was 87 years old. He was the last remaining member of Meher Baba's Meherazad resident men Mandali. Bhau was buried in the Men Mandali Cemetery at Lower Meherabad. And I'm just going to finish with reading things that were written from Meherabad about Bhau. After Baba dropped his body, Bhauji's unique background in law and public administration proved to be invaluable. From the early days of the trust's activities, when Bhau became a trustee, through the past 17 years when he served as chairman. Whether working day and night to solve a trust difficulty, answering a pilgrim's question, resolving a resident's dilemma, or touring the Baba world in response to invitations from Baba centers in India and abroad, Bauchi gave extraordinary service to Baba through many different aspects. Even during his last illnesses, despite great discomfort, Bauchi made efforts to give visitors his personal attention, loving wisdom, and lively sessions of witty humor and song, as well as continuing his Sunday online chat, which was looked forward to and enjoyed by Baba lovers around the world. Bauchi's achievements for his cause were legion, but like the men Mandali who went before him, Bauchi will be remembered and honored by posterity above all because of his loving, wholehearted, lifelong surrender at the feet of the avatar of the age, beloved Meher Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, that was just wonderful. Thank you, Karen. You always bring such love and spirit to your bios, and we really appreciate that. We appreciate you.
I appreciate the chance to do this. Thank you.
Hear that. I understand. All right. I have a couple of things. I have a short video that I wanted to play. So I will put that up. Let's see. Gotcha, here it is. All right. This was sent to us by our dearest Michal. So we'll play this and then she can tell you a bit about it. Here we go.
Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Bata, Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Avatar, Meher Baba. Now that you're beside me, it's heartward that you guide me. There can be no other beloved and lover, all in you. Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Avatar, Meher Baba. No tune could I carry, love denied, love deeply buried, always ending up nowhere. Now Meher, my heart belongs to you. Meher Baba, Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Avatar, Meher Baba. You gestured to follow and asked would I give my all. Oh, the secret in dying is in all things trying to see you. Meher Baba, Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Avatar, Meher Baba. The distance to cover is managed by the lover who travels most lightly, who holds most tightly onto you. Meher Baba, Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Avatar, Meher Baba, oh Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher
drinking cold.
Jay, Baba. Michal, do you want to tell us a little bit about that video?
Oh, Baba, I was just crying.
Oh, so sweet.
It's so moving, you know. This was his last birthday in Mehrabad. It was the second time that he had birthday, and when he was 87, and this one. So you see the love, you know, the love that he, how he touched every heart, and how everyone, and how Baba gave him this joy at the end of his life, because he was so talked about and so needled and by so many, and how happy he was here. And it was arranged, Katie Pye, if you saw Katie Pye there from Australia, and she arranged this album. She told in the world that anyone who wants to take a ghazal or of Bauji, then to draw something inspired by this ghazal. And so this booklet was there, and it was in the God's Carrier thing. And what is so strong for me with Bauji most is that Baba always liked fun. Baba liked fun, and in Gurbasad and with his intimate ones, he always made them do something, and the ladies also have a play, you know. And every time someone made a mistake, Baba would laugh, you know. And so Baba really liked singing and dancing and fun. He didn't like those spiritual talk, but he did that too. So Bauji also kept in that spirit. He kept also stories about Baba, and also this fun and dancing, and it was so great to be in his presence. And it would come from him. It would come from Baba, actually. Also, you could feel Baba there. So I don't think there's much talking to do about what we saw, you know, because it came straight to the heart.
Beautiful, though. You gave us a sense of being there. Thank you, Michal.
Thank you, Baba.
Yeah. And I see Robin and Jim, and I know it's late. I don't know if you guys have anything you'd like to share. We'd love to hear.
Well, I can talk about a little bit about the video that you saw, the program, because I was the one. You know how you get asked to do things that you don't really have a lot of expertise in doing. So I was asked to choreograph the dance, and we had the tailor, Bapu the tailor, who made the dresses, all the dresses for us. And as you saw, Pune from Iran, and Tuktam, and you saw Shiana, who Bauji would call Mother Joy. And then there was a little girl from India who wanted also to dance, and so she was dancing with me. You see her father's on Facebook. He calls it Meher Sharma. It's the Sharma family, and the grandmother is a very old Baba lover, and they come every year from Atithi. We see them a lot, and so now that little girl is a teenager and grown up and everything. And it was just a lot of fun. You know, I choreographed it. We did the dance. I mean, it was a very uplifting time, and everybody had fun. And then we sat around in the evening, and what you saw was, you know, kind of the Bhau chat, you know, on the video. And Pete Townsend was there, and Billy Goodrum was on. And you saw the crew from Myrtle Beach, Adele and Jeff were in that photo. We were all sitting around, you know, watching, and they were interacting with Bhau, and it was just wonderful and a lot of fun. So,
and no wonder that she choreographed, because she's called Dancing Mother by Bauji.
Dancing Mummy Robin.
And doctor Dancing Mother now.
Now, yes, Dr. Dancing Mother, yeah.
2 doctors.
And Jim, do you have any memories of Bhau you want to share?
Oh gosh. Caught me unawares. Yes, okay, I'll tell one story, which I think is pretty good. There was a point, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
See if I get it right this time.
Yeah.
There was a time, of course, when Valji did the Zooms, every Sunday afternoon, evening India time, and it was in the morning time for us. We're living in Atlanta, and every week for a while, Valji had us all dressed up, in your Sunday best, so to speak. And so McCall knows where this is going. I think you were there. So one morning we got up and it would start, I think at 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning for us. And so one morning we wake up and I just look Rob, I said, I'm just gonna wear the top thing, because of course she's not agreeing with me. But it was I'm not gonna wear the bottom part of the suit because he's never gonna see it. It's just like you see right here, this is it. So of course we get online and our time finally comes when we get to say hello to Bauji. And what was the first thing that Bauji did? Without even saying hello yet.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, actually, you didn't say any of that. You must have been thinking it because, I brought Jim back what they called Sherwanis.
Yeah.
For the men, Bauji had us dress up, right? So when I came back from India, I brought 2 Sherwanis for Jim. It has a beautiful top part, and then it has pants that go along with the bottoms. And most of the time Jim was wearing both the top and the bottom, but this morning when I came in, I saw him, he's sitting there in the top of the Sherwani, which is long, and it looked like he didn't have anything on his bottom. He says he has shorts.
I had shorts on.
But you couldn't see it because the top part, covered everything. I said to him, what are you doing? Why don't you need to put the bottoms on. You need to put your pants on. He said, oh, no one will ever know. He won't even notice. No one will know. So the first thing that he says to Jim is, what are you wearing on your bottom? Why can't we hear them?
And I just
You guys are muted.
Yes,
no,
we are. We're muted, so we
But we're
can hear
laughing,
you.
we're laughing.
So, of course, that was the first thing he said without even saying hello yet. And I just looked at
Hello.
Rob and I said, busted.
Hi, Christy.
Busted. That's great. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I heard you never say that Bauji doesn't know something.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't know something because he did. He knew exactly.
I will share one other thing that was quite extraordinary. Was a year before my father died, we were talking again, we were doing a Zoom, and out of the blue, he just said, let him go. And we had not been talking about my dad at all, but I knew somehow exactly what he was talking about. And a year after, I spent that whole year preparing and being detached from the attachment. So when the time came, I was actually there his last day, and I'm the one that had to take care of business, and all the relatives were around going, really upset and not be able to function. Those first few days, I'm the one that had to do everything to make arrangements, and it would not have been possible without that little thing that Bauji had done, so, Baba.
Hey, Papa. Yeah, great. Thank you. Great stories.
So I have a feeling that there's.
All right. Let me see. I think Karen
So I'm going
talking to Alan there in the background. I'm going to just do that. All right. We have Jack. I think Jack's up. You wanted to share with us, Jack? Jay Baba.
Okay. Yeah, my relationship with Bao was pretty deep in a strange sort of way. When he first came to Myrtle, uh, where I was living, and the first few days, you know, the whole time he was there until he left, it was just sort of staying aside and watching what was going on, and never formally did we meet. And then I found out that on the day or the day before his departure, they were having lunch over at Dilruba. And so between the time I found out about that and the time he came for lunch, I wrote a ghazal to him. And I'll read that first. Okay, let me read it first, and then I continue what happened after that. This is to the night watchman. O Meher, divine beloved, what a great gift you have given us in this time out of mind. A true Sahabas, so full of yesterdays and yesteryear's memories. Yesterday's remembrances that wash over our souls. One after another, they come here to share your boundless love. These, your closest ones, who are indeed one of a kind. They whom you have pounded and battered, pummeled and swatted, shaped and formed to emerge from your mold. What great good fortune to be present in the eternal now, as the stories of who you are and who you were pour forth on flowing waves of love and laughter, and we, in silent humbleness, our heads and hearts do bow, sometimes hearing, always feeling your imprinted love on our hearts forever after. How you walked, how you laughed, how you hurt, how you cried, how you touched, and how you loved. Only your closest ones can truly record. The times, the feeling, the experience of being in one moment with the Master, and how beautiful, how radiant you were, and how fortunate it was to be there with you. I actually crashed that lunch and found out about it, and I just went and crashed it. I read this to him. So then the next day, I was in the original kitchen, and Bao was staying in the cabin on the hill, I think, and or the farm shed. No, well, he came down the hill from the cabin on the hill anyway, and he yelled out to me, or he yelled out, "Hafez, Hafez!" And I didn't know what he was talking about. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he said it again, and I just put my hand up and yeah, sure, and walked away. So the next time he came, the same thing happened. And finally, we ended up talking. And from there on in, my relationship with him was what it was. Every time I was in India, went over to see him, we talked about all that stuff. And unfortunately, in one sense, this being the world of the play of the opposites, I was sitting in front of the clock in Merazad the year he died. And I don't know whether I was there when he died or I left in that previous April and he died in October and I didn't get back there until November. I don't remember. But he was giving a talk in Mandalay Hall or something like that. Anyway, he came down and they sat him in the chair in front of the Blue Bus right next to me on my right. And it was time for me to go. And I wanted to say goodbye to him. And I put my hand on his arm, just gently. And he turned around and he gave me the most disgusting look I could ever feel. And I don't know what that was all about, but I just kind of looked at him and I just shook my head and got up and walked away. So who knows what went on. And that's the story I have of Bhau. Thank you for listening.
But he also, Baba's Hafiz.
Yeah. I did. Okay, I'm done.
Something about Hafiz, I heard Marge say something. What was that? That you,
Huh? What? Well, Mark said, you know, that he called me Baba's Hafiz.
sweet.
That's a little unacceptable. Yeah, it was his way of, you know, I have no idea what's going on there. All I know is I just kept writing guzzles.
I know that when the Mandali are passing away,
Thank you.
they don't want to be touched. I know. So don't take it to heart. I'm sure I have experienced the same with one with Gamai, and she also and I know that Eroch at the end of his life, he also kept a distance. He didn't want to be touched. I think that has to do with sanskars. So don't take it to heart.
Thank you.
It's not a personal thing, and it's really something that we don't understand because we are Westerners.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Mihal. Orang, you've been so patient. Can we see your face? Yes.
Vatar mein Baba ki jai.
Jai Baba.
Bauji was very, very dear to me. Thank you for sharing his mind. He sent me over 100 emails, personal emails. I grouped 3 of them. I know the time is limited, but these 3 I think are instrumental, and I hope they touch you the way it touched me. The first one is email number 2 is dated January 7th, 2013. He goes like this: I received your loving email. I cannot walk, otherwise I would have come to LA. But anyway, you are here with me because in this age, beloved Baba has made me responsible for all of those who love him, who have come in contact through me. He is the ancient one, and he always helps through the medium. So far, the present, I am the medium, and I will remain the medium for 100 years. After 100 years, nobody, no medium. But in the 100 years, that medium is strong. That means Bauji is strong, alive. And that medium suffers and suffers. I am the only one remaining. I will be with you. And the other one, the number 17, okay, that was number 2. Let me get number 2, number 17. Here it is. Okay. This is after he, this one was dated January 19, 2012. Bauji said about death. He wrote this to my dad. He said, there's no need to come to here and see me when you're so old. I will survive. Don't worry about me. He says, though I will die, but I will remain alive in your heart. That is the great thing. I give you my promise. Bauji never makes promises, and he makes them, he keeps them. I give you my promise that I will be living in your heart. When my arms cannot reach people who are close to my heart, I always hug them in my prayers. That's what I got from Bauji. And the last one, there was over 100, but I'll just read this one and I'll say goodbye to you. Okay. This one is dated October 9th, 2013. And as love of Baba unites us, our heads divide us. This is something I wrote for Bauji. I'm very sorry to hear all the pain and suffering you're going through. Who could imagine someone so special like you have to go through this? Love of Baba unites us and our heads divide us. You uplifted our souls to see the spiritual path, the light of God. How could we ever thank you? The only thing I can do is pray and pray for you. I pray to Baba. How much should you suffer for all the love of God, which he has gone through? Oh, Mayor, I beg of you to have mercy on him. Free Bauji of all this pain and suffering he's going through, even if it means taking Bauji away from us. All I want is Bauji to be free. Avatar mein Baba ki jai. I got another 80 more emails, but I think these are the main ones. Jai Baba. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It means a lot to me. You touched my heart.
Well, Jay Papa, you've touched ours with those emails. So beautiful, Orang. Jay Papa. We have Jay Papa.
Yeah, so there wasn't a chat that would go, 1 minute, I have to take my background off. What's happened here? Yeah, so there wasn't a chat that would go without Sachidananda and make us all, and Bauji would make us all dance. So in honor of Bauji, I'm gonna sing that song and dance. Over the town, Mel Baba, Kiche, and your Bauji. Sachitananda Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand Sachitananda Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand 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 Sachitananda Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand Sachitananda Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand 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 Sachitananda Paramanand Meher Baba Vidyanand. So, you know, Bauji always had these very small spaces that were elastic. So you wouldn't believe how many people got into the places that he was giving the chat or the talk or just visiting his room, which was tiny, and the walls would be elastic, and another person would come, and there would be another chair, and there would, oh, Baba. So in the chats, it is a long corridor, a room, and so there were chairs on both sides, like in an airplane, you know, and an aisle like an airplane, you know, like that's the size of the of the space, and there we would dance because he would entice us to dance. He would ask us to get up and dance, and he would do that so beautifully and so majestically, you know. He would just, you know, move one eyebrow or something, you know, or we do like this, and the way he made the team dress up, you know, like beautiful Indian queens, and he was so much fun. And when he was terribly sick, he would still come to the chats. He would still talk, and he would be terrible. He would be horribly sick, like Baba. And he had so many illnesses. He couldn't eat anything. He loved dressing up, and Baba put him in robes and in bathrobes. You know, at the beginning it was bathrobes because he had this thing with the stomach that he had to, you know, I don't know how to call these things. And so, yeah, so talk and talk. So he used to come and he used to talk, and this team used to try to get him off and back to bed and to rest, because they knew that how he would crash after that. But he, at that time, Baba gave him, like Baba was, he was all pink. Baba couldn't get up before darshan, but he was then all pink and all glowing, and people thought that the Mandali were keeping Baba to themselves, because they didn't want to share him with others, because they said that he was sick, and here he's all glowing. So the same with Bauji. He used to talk and talk and talk, and they used to try and stop him. And I saw that this talk was doing him so good, it was doing him so good, because he forgot everything. And Baba gave him this ability to do and to talk about Baba, about anything, but this thing that really he liked most. And also his outpouring, Bauji's outpouring in everything, and in the Brahma Vishnu Mahesh, where he used to tap our hands, and in the JJ hall, and in the Prasad. he just, I felt that at the end of his life, knowing that he was the last one, and all the treasures that the Baba just put into him with the yoga sanskars, and then he just wanted to pour them out more and more and more. And even, when he was sick, he was all gray. He was gray. He couldn't move. He couldn't move in bed. He couldn't turn in bed, and he was stuck to this IV. And people would still come and would want to take pictures with him and all that. And he would allow that. He would just do that. And when he was, so let's remember Bauji and his beauty and his gifts and his joy and his humor and his amazing mind. You read, we in Arti, we heard what he was writing. We can't understand even what he's writing. So high his mind is. So thank you, Bauji, for everything, for all the love that you poured out to us through Baba, and Baba trained you to do that and was there right behind you, doing that for all of us. Thank you very much, Jai Baba. No, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Jai Ho. Yeah.
Thank you, Mihal. Bring the lightness. Wendy, Jai Baba, good morning. I loved your dance and your song. Beautifully done. Thank you, Mihal.
Yeah.
Wendy, hello, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, thank you everyone for all your beautiful shares. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. I was very lucky. I went to India many times and got to listen to Bhau's talks at the center, and it was quite magical, to say the least. And we were lucky. In 1999, he came and did a talk here at our home. Oh, sorry. Let somebody else go. I've got to put the dog out. I'll come back.
All right, sweetheart. The love dog. Gabriela, oh, I'm so happy to see you today. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba, so happy to be here, and beautiful sharings. As she just began to say that then about the talks, it just like the atmosphere of the lower Mandali, the hall, the dining hall, where I used to speak, and there would be like, 100 of us in the room, or 75, but it just, the feeling of it came back to me, and I could see Lorelei knitting her scarf, and and somehow the whole, just the feeling of the comfort and ease that was at those talks, and it's like we were absorbing Baba without any effort whatsoever, just through stories, through just the light, laughter,
Yeah.
And it was like really like being with Baba. I mean, now it just came back to me, the feeling of that as she said that. But I have so many stories, I don't even know where to start. But I want to start with singing, because that was my main link with Bauji. And it started when I was in India, and Huma Alvarado was my helper. And I just got inspired to write some music. Oh, actually, no, I started before that. The first time was I didn't know anything about Bob, and I'd written a song to one of Bau's ghazals, and it was in Chapel Hill, and he came to Chapel Hill. And so somebody I didn't know anything, and they said, you should sing this. It's a Bau ghazal. Bau was here, and we were at Nick Princepe's house. And so John Connor encouraged me. He was helping Bauji. So John Connor said, come do the song. And I did it. And it was one of the guzzles. It was a very nice guzzle. And that was my start with Bauji. So I guess somewhere along the way, I started writing music to his guzzles, but there was a certain point in India there where it kind of became very magical. And I always felt like Huma was in the room when I'd be writing, because we're sharing a room, and I could never write a song with anybody else in the room except with Huma. She was so quiet still. I felt she co-wrote it with me, basically. And then, of course, Baba just kept giving me these inspired melodies. Like I just never had to work and to do these melodies. Anyway, so the first one that I did of this particular batch, I remember, let me see what it was. It was, I have relations only with Lord Meher. I feel a bliss for agony at his feet. I know nothing about the spiritual path. I know no longing. I really don't know anything. I know one thing, and that is to bow down to his footprints. One who finds the beloved's footprints finds everything. After they are found, the real relationship is maintained. After they are found, the real relationship is maintained. After they are found, the real relationship is maintained in him. So these were actually not from Bau's Guzzles, but from Meher Geetika. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. And so we were excited about it. So we went to his office to sing, hoping we could sing, and that was the days when Bau was sort of sitting in state at his desk, doing his work, and everyone just sort of crammed into his office and watched him work. And every once in a while he would say, now you, and he'd ask a question and somebody'd have to answer the question, or what's going on with such and such? And they would, and all of a sudden he goes, sing. And we were like, oh, and it was just sort of like being with Baba. Like we were ready, we were prepared, we jumped in, we grabbed the guitar, we sing the song. So that was just, to me, those were some of the happiest days of my life. And I could go on and on. I have too many. That was 2 stories out of 100. But could I sing a song, or should I wait and sing another song later?
It's up to you, sweet. If you want to sing song, sing.
Well, I had one I was going to sing. That was just inspired, that one. Let me sing this one. It's called My Beautiful Message. So these were all, of course, this one is from Meher Sarod. Most of these are from, a lot of them are from Meher Sarod. And Bao just always encouraged me to sing so much, and he would have me singing at the programs. And I always felt he'd put me, he'd always put the music at the beginning. And I always felt like when I got the opportunity to sing, that he was working. He wanted me to sing the longest songs. And so I was, embarrassed. But then I realized that when I did those songs, he was in the room, and people would say, well, I felt all this stuff going on when he was just sitting there in silence while you were singing. And so I just knew that he was using that time to sort of work on everyone in the room. So this one's called My Beautiful Message. Oh, one more thing I'll say, that Bauji once told me, he said, just sing, don't talk.
Oh, that sounds like it.
Yeah, how much I talked just then? Okay.
Is your original sound on?
Original sound from musicians? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Meher, your lovely name is meant for me, and your silence is my beautiful message. And your silence is my beautiful song, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song. When I caught hold of your feet, I became a stranger to myself. Now, what good am I? All I can do is weep in your love, weep in your love. Ooh, my beautiful message, beautiful song. Oh, Meher, your lovely name is meant for me, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song. This pain of love is killing me. What should I do? What should I do? How can I explain that this pain is my elixir of love, my elixir of love? Ooh, my beautiful message, my beautiful song. I've become useless, I've become worthless, I've become helpless, yet my condition has left me skilled, has left me skilled. Ooh, my beautiful message, my beautiful song. Oh, Meher, your lovely name is meant for me, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song. After seeing my tears, you have still not shown me any kindness, oh, my beloved. Now my tears repent for causing you blame, for causing you blame. Ooh, my beautiful message, my beautiful song. Oh, Meher, your lovely name is meant for me, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song, and your silence is my beautiful message, and your silence is my beautiful song. Oh, Bhau, this world and its affairs are unimportant. What can I do that's worthwhile in a world that is just illusion and dust? Ooh, my beautiful message, my beautiful song, my beautiful message, my beautiful song. Jai Baba.
Hey, Papa. Gabriella, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
So beautiful. Bringing that beautiful message to us.
There's two lines in that that just really blow me away. I'm sure you heard it, but one is I asked him once, what does it mean you left me skilled? Like you took everything away, but you left me skilled. And he was very vague about that, but I got the feeling it was, the things that he was able to do for us. And the other line I love so deeply, and it really is, now my tears, after seeing my tears, you have not shown me any kindness. Now my tears repent for causing you blame. Jai Baba.
Baba. Wendy. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba, my apologies. Our house is nonstop activity. Anyway, so I was very lucky over the years to spend time with Bauji. I even got to do a speech a couple of times. And anyway, he blessed us with his presence at our home in July of 1999 in Canada. So that was pretty exciting. And what for me was so exciting about it was I just put it at, we had our Toronto Baba lovers, of course, who came. However, I just put it out to people that I had in my community. If you want to, come, you're welcome to come. Just bring a chair. I don't have enough chairs or a blanket. And anyway, I don't know how many people totally came, but there was a lot of people, and a lot of people I didn't even know at all. And what was very sweet about it was all my children were there, and they all got a hug from Bauji, so that made me feel quite nice, to say the least. And everybody just was so happy to be there. It was amazing. And he talked over 2 hours, and nobody left. Everybody was listening to everything he said. Anyway, the long and the short, yeah. And I had a few times with Bauji where I had pretty personal questions, and he gave them the importance that I needed in response. And I was so grateful for that, so grateful. But anyway, I have a picture of him sitting at I don't know if I can spot, can you see it? See him sitting there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that with his hand was one of my favorite, I don't know why, but I found that, I just liked that movement of his hand. And anyway, my last time with Arnavez, he came to see her, and he was with this lady, and I feel really badly, I just can't remember her name. But anyway, he came around on the back there, and I opened the door and I went, "Oh, Jai Baba, Bhau," and Jai Baba. And then he put his hand up. So I put my hand up, and he hit my hand so hard. Like, wow, I don't know that I could have matched that even in my youth. It was unbelievable. And then this, all of you know Bauji, that little look that he has. And it was like, okay, Jai Baba, I don't know what that was about, but anyway, or he'd say, "Where have you been?" And I'd say, "Well, I'm here, Bauji, and sometimes I don't get back in time." Okay. But our favorite little joke was when he was leaving, and I think most of you know this was one of his statements. You'd say, "How are you, Bauji?" And Bauji would say, "How do I look?" And of course, we would always say, "Great, great, you look great." So anyway, one day, just before I was getting ready to come back to Canada, got to hear him talk, and I didn't get to hear the whole thing. Anyway, so I said to him, "Bauji, how are you?" And he goes, "How do I look?" And I said, "You look great." And then he said, "How are you doing?" And I went, "How do I look?" And his response was, that comical side of him. And it was a nice last seeing of him. Anyway, So those are a few of my times with Bauji. Jai Baba. And again, my apologies for the interruption at first. Jai Baba.
Jay Baba, we love the love dogs
Yeah.
speaking. No worries. That was great. What great stories. Yeah, how do I look? Marvin. Michelle. Jay Baba.
Jai Baba. Okay, so I got a real short little story about Bauji. He came to Chicago many times and spent quite a few, days with us at the Stronghold.
At the Stronghold in outside of Rockford,
Yeah.
Illinois.
Well, he also came to our house.
Oh, he's been in our house. Yeah,
Anyhow,
that was wild too. That's another thing.
but an interesting side of Bhau was exposed at this one Dooney fire that we had out at the Stronghold. We were all sitting around, we had thrown in our lot into the Dooney, and we were watching it burn. And
People were sharing songs.
yeah, people were sharing songs, and it was a beautiful moment. And then my wife stood up and played her song, and Bhau. I was sitting right next to Bhau, and after her song, he stood up, and he was, saying, thank you, applauding. And I looked at him, and he was crying. And it was, I guess the song had brought back some memories for him.
Well, the song, I used to call it Bau's story,
Yeah.
or Bau's song, but so it's not this body. It was just early on coming to Baba that I wrote this song. But one of the things that happened to me in India, it wasn't this trip, but I wanted to share this wonderful picture. This is 97. This is fun. This is nice. Bau is so young and vibrant and beautiful. I had written this punk rock Baba song, which I really need to relearn. And it was in 1995 that I was in India, and I was playing it for the Aussie boys on the porch, veranda outside of where Bauji was talking, and I didn't even realize Bauji was talking. And then I got pulled in, and he made me sing that song in front of everybody, and it was I was a little humiliated. Oh my God. It's like, he's the avatar, he's playing my guitar. It's a funny song. I have a video of Monty. Anyway, so, but I wrote Not This Body because of when Bauji would come and tell stories about the night when Baba dropped his body. Wishing, waiting to see you again, hoping, praying you'll be still. Watched as you slipped away before my eyes. How beautiful was the grace of your life. You turned to me, my heart wrenched so, with such comfort. You let me know I am not this body. this I say, I am not this body. I'm with you every day. When your heart breaks and the love takes, I'll be there for you. Let the silence be your guidance on the pathway through. I am not this body, the ocean so true. Longing for awakening, to rise in your love, hopeful for being with him once again. I pounded as you crushed away your sweet human form. How precious were the days, how fortunate we were. You turned to me, my heart wrenched so, with such compassion. You let me know I am not this body. Remember this I say, I am not this body. I'm with you every day. When your heart breaks and the love takes, I'll be there for you. Let my silence be your guidance on the pathway through. I am not this body, the ocean so true. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Yeah, Bauji, he would come and he would talk and talk and talk, and we would have these wonderful sahadases, so many. And sometimes he would get so giddy and in the end, and it was so intimate that he was so comfortable. And one time he told a story, and I don't know the entire story, about breaking his silence, and he's laughing, and they're like, "We broke our silence by farting," and it was just like he was in stitches. We all were aching in laughter. Anyway, that's one of the most beautiful memories of Bhau. And we had this talk here, and there was a lot of people. It was outside in the people, the neighbors, there's a, a 2, 3 flat next door, and all the neighbors were listening. And it was so funny. So they were all getting exposed to Bao. And we didn't even know that, really know they were young people, young college, right out of college living next to, that kind of thing. It's so fun. It's just
So
good.
cool. So cool.
And the room rocking, the house shaking with Sajid. That's one thing I remember, the house shaking with Sajid.
Oh,
Anyway, Jai Baba.
Shay, Baba. Thank you for your song. That was just extraordinary. Bao could hold silence, there's no doubt. Shay, Baba. I'm gonna, are you still talking to us or are you done? No, you're done.
Oh, I saw Sharika and Hi, Jai Baba.
Cool.
Jai Baba.
Shay, Baba.
How is
So
everyone?
good. How are
Long time
you?
I could not join. Hello, I can see Michelle, Betty, Ruthie, Jai Baba.
Shay, Baba.
Very beautiful song.
Sareka, do you have a story?
I especially don't have a story because I didn't had a chance to meet Bauji
Oh,
uncle, but definitely Prashant and Praveen. I've always heard from them that
uh,
since very since the time they remember, they were always very patient and they used to love listening to Bauji uncle's talk in the center, that every Saturday or in all the occasions, Bauji uncle used to address everybody and lovingly. And they themselves have performed they have sang many bhajans in front of him, and he always loved it. So that's a little one that they remember. Bauji's uncle sitting in front, and they are playing with their little fingers tabla and trying to just play harmonium. I could see
wonderful.
that.
So good to see you.
So good to see you all.
She is a great
Sorry
singer. You
for
are a
the.
great singer,
Oh,
Sureka. Will you sing something
We
for
would
us?
definitely. Yes, yes. Praveen is also here with me. We both are gonna, we'd love to sing Bauji Uncle's bhajans. And yeah, so one we have, which is one of Praveen's favorite. So we'll just start.
हंसो मेरे अरमां मेहर पधारे हंसो मेरे अरमां मेहर पधारे जीवन में अब ना निराशा रहेगी निराशा रहेगी हंसो मेरे अरमां मेहर पधारे अंतर में सी ज्वाला उठेगी मन की रंगेली माला जलेगी अंतर में सी ज्वाला उठेगी मन की रंगेली माला जलेगी ना हम रहेगा ना इच्छा बढ़ेगी ना हम रहेगा ना इच्छा बढ़ेगी मेहर मिलन की आशा रहेगी आशा रहेगी हंसो मेरे अरमां मेहर पधारे हंसो मेरे अरमां मेहर पधारे हृदय बीच ज्वाला पुकारा करेंगी प्रकट हो मुझ में प्यारे मेहरबा हृदय बीच ज्वाला पुकारा करेंगी, प्रकट हो मुझ में प्यारे मेहरबा। भाऊ पहेली सब सुलझने लगेगी, भाऊ पहेली सब सुलझने लगेगी। मेहर के लिए अब श्वासा रहेगी, श्वासा रहेगी। हंसो मेरे अरमान, मेहर पधारे, हंसो मेरे अरमान, मेहर पधारे। जीवन में अब ना निराशा रहेगी, निराशा रहेगी। हंसो मेरे अरमान, मेहर पधारे, हंसो मेरे अरमान, मेहर पधारे। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
जय
जय
मेहर
बाबा।
बाबा।
Boy, that was spectacular. Do you have another?
One more, yes.
One more.
Yeah, beautiful. Wonderful.
आगे सबसे मैंने ग्रुप पे डाला है।
तब तक तो स्टॉप कर।
There's one more Bhauji uncle's bhajan. सत की ज्योति फिर से जगाने, सत की ज्योति फिर से जगाने लाए प्रेम अपार,
लाए प्रेम अपार। आए रे, आए रे, आए रे मेहर अवतार। सत की ज्योति फिर से जगाने, सत की ज्योति फिर से जगाने लाए प्रेम अपार, लाए प्रेम अपार। आए रे, आए रे, आए रे मेहर अवतार। युग युग में जब धीमी पड़ती, युग युग में जब धीमी पड़ती, सत्य ज्योत की धार, सत्य ज्योत की धार। आते हैं तब युग अवतारी, आते हैं तब युग अवतारी। बना रूप साकार, बना रूप साकार। आए रे, आए रे, आए रे मेहर अवतार। अपना प्रेम है देते सबको, अपना प्रेम है देते सब धर्मों का सार, सब धर्मों का सार। उनके बिन है जीवन भाऊ, उनके बिन है जीवन भाऊ। मिथ्या की नित धार, मिथ्या की नित धार आए रे मेहर अवतार सत्य की ज्योति फिर से जगाने सत्य की ज्योति फिर से जगाने लाए प्रेम पार लाए प्रेम पार आए रे मेरे अवतार आए रे मेरे अवतार अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय जय मेहर बाबा
Jai Baba. So beautiful. Thank you, Sakara.
So
I was
good.
watching for you to come in to the Zoom room so I could get you in early because I know how late it is there. And you snuck in. I never saw you come in. I've been watching
Yes.
this. Thank you so much. So beautiful, both of you.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Thank you so much.
Jai Baba,
Lovely
thank you.
comments. I didn't get a chance to read all, but Jai Baba. Love to everybody for the new year. May this new year be a very good start, lovely start. Hoping to get everything back and everything that we have missed since last 2 years. Maybe get double and triple of the same. And for the Amar Tithi, we are eagerly waiting for everybody. If whoever could come and join with us here for the live Amar Tithi.
We would love to come and join.
It's good. It's good. Hoping everybody's coming. Yeah.
And to you, sweet. Much love in this new
Jai
year.
Baba.
Baba's love. Jai Baba.
May I say something about them?
Yes, ma'am.
Because not everyone knows them, and they are responsible for the Amartiti string of all the years of the COVID, when COVID was, when Amartiti could not be on Hill, and they were the ones who did the programs and strung them together and collected them and put them. And they also took photos for all of us of the Duni, and they also had many programs for us during this day. So he and his brother, twin brother, and his wife, and they now have a child, and their father, and Jai-ho, 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 really beautiful work you did, wonderful work.
And we can't forget the cooking classes that were so fantastic.
Oh, Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Well, it looks like we're having some technical difficulty on their end. Thank you, Michal and Michelle. All right, Betty, do you want to speak?
Sure, perfect timing. We got them when they were alive.
Yeah, they just disappeared. Jai Baba.
I thought I would just start off with showing a few photos. Here, let's see if I can do this. Here we are. This is Magician Huey and Bauji at Marana in the early days. Bauji was so instrumental in the formation of Marana. So let's see if I can, maybe I can, I guess I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but here. This was in the 90s. There's young Alan and Karen and Bauji. And I'll show maybe one more. This is our granddaughter Amber and Dave, Tractor Dave. Okay, and one more. let's see, sorry to be so herky-jerky. I know there's a better way to do this. And here is Bhau looking very whoopsie dapper. Oh.
Sorry, we lost. Good
that you're back. Okay, so those are some photos I had on my desktop. Well, the Lomans, we went to India. We go way back with that. Well, to 87. We went to India in 87. And at the time, David was not quite a Baba lover, but he was willing to come along to India. We took the family, and when he was somewhat uncomfortable when we got there, and he had also had an accident, so he was on a neck brace. So, which Goer was incredibly kind about. I would say our relationship was in serious trouble by as a result of his being a lot of things, but his being uncomfortable and didn't help. So at one point, Dave said to me, he said, "Go tell Bhau I want a divorce." I said, "Right on." I'm hoping that he would sanction that and we could get on with it. But and at that time, Bhauji was not real well known. There's plenty of access to Bhau, and he had lots of time to devote to to folks like us. So anyway, I did. I went. I said, "Bhau, my husband says he wants a divorce." He said, "Well," he said, "sir, what do you want?" And I would have loved to say, "That's it. That's the right answer. We're done." But I knew better. I said, "Well, I want what Baba wants," and of course that was the right answer. So it's funny. One bit of advice he gave me was, "Listen," he said, don't try to talk to him when he's mad. just wait till he's in a good mood." So, and I have taken that to heart many times. It was a good bit of marital advice. So Bhau took us in hand, and he every time he saw us together, he'd put his arms around us and say, "Mummy and Daddy, Mummy and Daddy. I want to see lots of hugs and kisses." He just made it a point to say that we should hang in. That was when he named us Lemon Mummy and Lemon Tractor Daddy, because Dave drove a tractor. So I would say he was absolutely instrumental in by the time we left India, we were there 6 weeks, and it took all of that to put us back together. But so Bhauji was our marriage counselor. So, and ever since then, he took it. Well, everybody, I suppose, feels like they have a special relationship with Bhau. He manages that. He really took such an interest personally in all of our lives. Boy, he was really sorry, he was Papa's John. He really was, for all of us, such a friend. So anyway, that's the Lomans and Bhau. Then I wanted to talk about how Bhau was so instrumental in Mehrana forming in the 90s, when he would come to LA. Well, the first time, I don't know the year, but he was always a featured guest at LA Sahavas. And one year he said to Christy Pearson, when Sahavas was ending, he said, isn't there a way we could all stay together? Is there some place that we could all be together? And Christy thought, well, we have a house half built up, was about 5 hours north in Mariposa, California. And so good, that was it. So there was this very quick arrangement made at the end where some folks gathered. I think there might have been 40 or maybe 50 people who went after, it was the after party. They all went to up and camped on Pearson's property. And I remember the story of Silence Day. It was our Sahabas was always Silence Day. They all went to visit Yosemite, which was a national park, which was an hour away. So there were maybe 5 or 6, 7 cars in a row, all driving in to the get you pay where you pay, all silent. And they would wave at the ticket taker one after another. And they had a very nice day, picnic on the river there, silent, all silent. So anyway, and then so it was decided at that time to form a committee to look and to just explore the possibility of making a center there. And so, and in the meantime, we had, I would say 3 or 4, we called them Bhau, which is basically camping in the Pearsons' backyard. And that picture of Huey, Magician Huey, was one of them, one year of that. So, and Bhauji was ever so encouraging of making that happen. And then land was found, and that he was just behind all of the big decisions. Then there was a discussion of annexing 101 acres, the 101, and that was so anyway, his energy was so strong for making that happen, which it has. It's an ongoing proposition today. So that's, oh yeah. Also there's we moved up to Oregon, to Scotts Mills, Oregon, where we had Sahabases in Oregon every year. But before we got here, though, it was the Jim and Jean Wilson were the proprietors. And they had a pond in the backyard that was that had gone dry. And the year that Bhau, 1993, the year that he came, there was an earthquake right before his arrival. In fact, Janice, I think that was the inspiration for her writing "Wake Up." She wrote "Wake Up, Portland, Wake Up," and then she went on to write "Wake Up" for all the cities. I think Chicago must have had a "Wake Up" song from Janet. "Wake up, Portland, wake up."
Chicago, definitely we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bhauji got here. Well, he was walking around with Jim and Jean, and Jim and Jean were saying, where should we put where should we have Dooney? And so Bhauji, they walked around. Bhauji took a stick and he said, "Here," and it was in the dry pond bed. So that's where they had Dooney. And after the Sahabas was over, everybody was gone. Jim and Jean were walking around the property, and Jim says to Jean, come here. He said that water had started flowing into the pond, and it's still full now. Now, I have to be scientifically, I think the jiggling of the earth probably had something to do with that, but that it's a fact. It hasn't been dry since. So that's the pond story. And I'd forgotten one more story, and that is, Bhauji called me Lemon Mummy partly because I did childcare for the kids, and he approved of that thoroughly. He thought it was a great thing to do, a great service. And honestly, I would always fall asleep at Val's talks. So it was a relief to me to say, oh, I have to go take care of the kids, Bauji. I can't, because inevitably I couldn't stay awake through a talk. So so that was my excuse, was to go off to take care of the kids. But so that's how Lemon Mummy came to be, Lemon from Loman. Let's see. Oh, I know. So one of the years that the kids, when Bao was there, the kids and I did a skit of Baoji and the tractor. Bao had a degree in agriculture, and part of what he had to do to obtain that degree was drive a tractor. And he famously drove a tractor into a shed. Baba called him useless. He couldn't figure out how to do it. I think it was a radio. There's a story about him looking. Baba wanted to do something with the radio, and Baba couldn't figure it out. So anyway, I thought Huey McDonald wrote this song for the skit. The kids and I built a tractor. We took cardboard and painted it orange, and the kids all ran the tractor into a shed. So here's the song. Pardon me, Bao, is that a tractor that you're driving? Looks like you're taking a test. Don't make it a mess. Pardon me, Bao, that's not the Chattanooga choo-choo. It's a dangerous truck. You might run out of luck. Pardon me, Bao, I think you're going way too fast. Don't press that pedal. It's not the brake, it's the gas. People standing in the road are running for life, screaming like they saw a ghost and filled with fright. Bao, you better stop now. The shed is very close now. Press the brake. I fear it's too late. Thank God it's not a cow. Oh, pardon me, Bao. Is that a tractor that you're driving? I hope you pass the test. I think you need a rest.
Yay!
That's thanks to Huey McDonald. So I think that's all the stories I got for now.
Wonderful, wonderful. What a great history that you unveiled about the Northwest or the West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Such energies that he brought. Thank you, Betty. You brought them today too.
Beautiful song. Very cute.
Yes, well done. Well done with the song. All right, Ginger Buzz, you got something. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. I'll share a quick story from 1991. Our son Joseph had just turned 7, so we decided we wanted to take him to India. So I think one of the first places we ended up was at the trust office, and Baoji made such a fuss over this little 7-year-old. And during their conversation, Baoji asked Joe, would you like to spend some time with me while you're here? And Joseph said, yeah, sure, sounds good. And so he says, you eat a good breakfast. And he says, after breakfast, I will come and pick you up in Baba's car and we'll go out for the day. And so he ate his breakfast and he went and stood outside, and here comes Baoji in Baba's car. And they go out for the day. We didn't even think to ask where they were going, and we weren't invited. But anyway, so he comes back that night, I think it was just before dinner, and we asked him how his day went. And he was holding his arm like this, and he said, I hate my name, I want to change it, and I can't feel my arm. So I said, what have you been doing all day? He said, well, we were visiting schools. And he said, Baoji told me that I had to shake everyone's hand. I had to say, Jai Baba, my name is Joseph, and shake their hand. And so a 7-year-old, after shaking thousands of hands and saying his name, decided he wanted to change it. And but next morning after breakfast, he was out on the porch waiting for Bauji to come and pick him up again. And they went off every day. He didn't change his name, but he did come back like this every night after shaking so many hands. And the kind of fun thing is that after we got back home, Joseph took up studying tabla. And at the Mayorana talks, when Bauji came, Bauji renamed him Tablaji. And before all his talks at Mayorana, he said, "Come on, Tablaji, you come and you play a little bit before I start talking." So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Lovely memories for us. Jai Baba.
Jay Baba, what a great story. Oh, what a lucky Joseph.
I was going to say the same thing. What a lucky kid. What good.
Jay Baba, thank you. Ginger Buzz, thank you. And Elizabeth, Jay Baba.
Hello. Well, I have, let's see, I always felt very close to Bauji. I don't know how it happened. I was in Washington, D.C. I'm not sure. I think he started coming to the States in 1985. And at that time, I was still in Washington, D.C. And I'm sure I attended gatherings with Bhau at that time, Daniel Butler Stone and Pamela. I mean, they were married at that time before they went their separate ways. And I remember, and I think Bhau started going to the center in 1985 as well. I'm not sure what year, if I was there the first year he went, but I remember whenever he would go in May, I would typically go. And my habit was to follow him around like a puppy dog. And I would always be sitting way up front anytime he was speaking. And I too would often fall asleep, but he had this habit of speaking directly to me. He would look directly at me, and it was embarrassing because I thought, he focused so much attention on talking to me. It was uncomfortable at times. But anyway, and it was probably just because I was listening so hard and I always had questions. But so he started calling me, I was working on my dissertation at the time. He started calling me, or my doctorate, I don't think I'd gotten to dissertation stage, started calling me Dr. Sister number 2. And at some point, there was a Dr. Sister number 1. I don't know what happened to her, but at some point I became Dr. Sister number 1. And so he would always call me that. And I seemed to have this kind of connection with him where I would always end up calling him in India, sometimes when he was sick, or I would call the center right before he would come, anticipating before it had been announced, like a day or two. He had just called the previous day. So I don't know, I had some kind of connection like that with him. And but anyway, I guess the story I wanted to tell is this time in Washington, D.C., and how I worked with Bauji, John Connor, and the 3 of us transliterated the song Gate Chalo into English. I know in certain song books it said Ward did it, but he did not. It was John Connor was traveling with Bauji, playing his harmonium, and they must have sung it in Hindi or whatever language it was being sung in. And so afterwards, somehow I ended up in this little circle with John, Bauji, and I just standing. And John would sing the melody and have the rhythm, and they would tell me the words, and then I made them into poetry that rhymed and that went with the music. And anyway, so we would sing it sometimes in Washington, D.C., etc. And it went off to India. And then I totally forgot about it. I was at this really horrible stage in my dissertation writing. And it was the 10th year. It was the last year. And all these people had invested time and money into me. Alan Cohen was helping me. I had terrible writer's block. Somebody from that guy, Tony, the guy who does positive thinking, a guy on his staff was calling me once a week. And anyway, it was a real struggle. I thought I was failing at everything. And then I got word that in India, they were singing Gate Chalo in English, and all the aunties, and it was just amazing. It just made me feel like, well, something good was happening. But anyway, so one word was changed. I think I had originally written true self, and Bauji or somebody changed it to false self. But so anytime I would be at the center, Bauji always made me sing that at a gathering. And I think he liked it because I would laugh. I mean, I actually cannot remember the words to my own song. I have to look at them because for some reason I memorize melodies, but not words. But every time, so whether I'd practice or not, I had to be ready to get up on stage with my guitar and sing Gate Chalo, and he would always request it. And the last time he came was when he was much older, and I kept trying to come. I had a very, very intense and busy job that involved a lot of travel at the time. And so we were putting in our reports for the year, and my boss and I were not getting along, and I kept trying to get away, and I couldn't get away, and I couldn't get away. So I was about 4 or 5 days late. So I had planned, a week to 10 days at the same time Bauji was there. And it was awful. Bauji was not saying my name. And I went with him toward the end, and at the airport to say goodbye to him. And I felt so rotten because I had not gotten there when I said I would. And he said, he kind of did his hands like this, and he said, what happened? Why didn't you come? I said, Bauji, I couldn't, I had to work. And he said, all right. And I said, I think I'd said, you didn't call me Dr. Sister. Am I no longer your Dr. Sister? And he said, you will always be my doctor. Sorry, I can't even say. You will always be my Dr. Sister. Anyway, I think that was the last time I saw him. And never got to see him after that. But the part that someone said about his living in your heart, that was always in my heart. I never forget him. I probably think of him every day. He had a major impact on my life, and I still miss him so much. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you, Elizabeth. Beautiful stories. Jai Baba. I have a short video I think I'm going to show just because there's some photos of Bhau that maybe you've seen. They're all pretty much from Meher Baba Travels. So this is pretty short, but I thought I'd play it. Jai Baba.
I am the essence of life, eternal, unchangeable, without beginning and without end, without name and without form. infinite in the possibilities of my expression. I manifest myself to myself in a myriad of forms, called by a myriad of names, continually beginning, continually changing, continually ending, knowing all, commanding all, pervading all. At every moment of time, I am eternal. In every form, I am infinite. The whole of my knowledge, the whole of my power is resident in each form, throughout all time, and flows into expression when used for new creation. I am the source, the continuation, and the end of all things. Yet I am apart from all things. My infinite knowledge and power are manifest in each, yet they are not of any. Because I am, all things are. When I withdraw, all things cease to be. When one awakes in God, all that is not God goes to everlasting sleep.
Jai Baba. It's good to have some images. Jai Baba. Well, if there's anybody with a burning desire to speak about Bhau, Baba, come forward because we're going to end here in a minute then.
I just want to say I really love the pictures you just put up. Thank you so much, Ruthie.
Jai Baba.
Amazing video. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Those pictures of him writing I've never seen, and those are very rare, I think. That's really special that you showed that they were.
All the photos came from Meher Baba Travels. So I usually put that at the end of the video so that they get credit for their work. Tony does. So thank you very much, Baba, for allowing us to have such manifestation of your love here today. Jai Baba, everyone.
Jai Baba.
And thank you so much for doing it live, Ruthie.
Sure, let's all unmute and say Avatar Meher Baba together. Avatar Meher Baba. Hey. Avatar Meher Baba.
Jai.
Avatar.
Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Yay. Thanks, everybody. Hey, Baba.
Thank you, Ruthie.
It was